Good morning. Welcome to 17th session. Are you happy now? Almost fundamental stage is over. Now we try to enter theoretical stages. So language and linguistics as a subject, now I think you have started to love. So we have two big units, modules. We are now dealing with the fourth module. Some areas will be connected to the second module. So my last attempt was to complete all the fundamental basics of modern English grammar. That has been over. Now we slowly take you to the field of theories of linguistics. Particularly in this unit we have a very extraordinary topic. That topic is called morphology. Have you heard about it? Morphology? A very beautiful area. And what about you studied phonology? What is meant by phonology? Any idea? Phonology and morphology is somewhat connected. Phonology relates to the study of sound system. Whereas morphology, now we are going to deal with the area of word formation. How we derive certain words. You know, once you examine many grammatical textbooks or linguistic textbooks, you will get this different methods to approach morphology as a subject. Morphology, an area of knowledge. But once after reading all other grammatical textbooks, linguistic textbooks, you have to frame certain principles. You have to keep one by one order in the notebook, then fix the ideas. You know, some people have a confusion about phonetics and phonology. Phonetics, what is meant by phonetics? Many definitions are given, but the accurate, authentic definition, it is a scientific study of sound system of language. Again, you remember, you keep in mind, what is phonetics? If somebody asking you in future, you should tell him, it is scientific study of sound system of language. What did I say? Sound system of language. After phonetics, from phonetics you come to phonology. What is meant by phonology? You already studied phonology in the syllabus. Phonology relates to a particular language. Suppose you study sound system of Malayalam, sound system of English, sound system of Hindi. You will get the phonology of that language. So better we say phonetics is in general. Phonetics is related to the sound system of general all languages. Whereas phonology, as you studied or refer to any phonetical textbooks, either Daniel Jones or Gimson, or you better study Indian phonological books, a textbook for Indian students, phonology, written by Balasubramaniam, a very beautiful book available in the market, published by Macmillan Company. So phonetics on the top, and from phonetics you go to different languages. You come to Malayalam, you come to Tamil, you come to Hindi. All that you study about particular language, you will get a phonology of that language. Means phonology of Malayalam is different from phonology of Tamil. Phonology of Hindi is different from phonology of Urdu. And what is to say more, English phonology is totally different. So once you study phonology on the one hand, on the other hand you study morphology, a typical topic. So better we study phonology related to sound system. All right, then you will study morphology. All right, it is related to word formation. Related to word formation of all fields of language. You know what is a word? Again, questions coming. This area is quite interesting. That you go approach one area by one area, you will get more ideas. So once I try to teach you phonology related to sound system, whereas morphology related to word formation, how you can make words. So morphology as such, it relates to two areas. One is WORD, word formation. Then one is called sentence connection. Sentence related to. These are the two areas of morphology. Are you okay? So first you keep in mind, I go by step. What is it? What is defined morphology? Morphology is related to the area of study of word formation. Or better, in one of the linguistics books it is written WEP, not EPFP, word formation process. Word formation process, it is written. So morphology, in a way, another way you can define, it is a word formation process. It is a WEF, formation process. How you can develop words? What are the methods by which you develop words? So this area related to word formation and how these words are used for sentence making. Then after all, what is a word? That is a question. What is a word? You know, word is what is a word? Anybody will ask you in future, what is a word? Word is collection of letters kept in a unit. It is a single unit. Word is you can keep down point, single unit of sounds or letters. Sounds means something. Some letters you take, keep in a group, keep in a cluster. Then when it points out something, that is a word. For example, we write cat. Cat, C is there, sound K is there, A is there, T is there. CAT, cat. That stands for a word. Unit of letters combined together makes a meaning. That is a word. Then when it relates to morphology, all right, morphology, when it is related to morphology, we have a great technical term. What is it? That is called morpheme. All right, morpheme. Then you will get to morpheme. What is morpheme? Morpheme is other way we call a word. Basically study like that. What is a morpheme? Morpheme is a word. When it comes have different segmentations. We have different methods. So what is morphology related to words, and what is a word that is otherwise called morpheme, and what is the real scientific definition given to a morpheme? It is a minimum meaningful sound unit. Minimum meaningful sound unit that you keep as a definition in your notebook. What is a morpheme? They will ask you. It is a minimum meaningful. It should be meaningful, semantically correct. It should have meaning. Then, if letters and sounds stand together to make a word, that word will be meaningful. Such words are called morphemes. So, I taught you today what is phonetics, what is phonology, what is morphology, what is morpheme. Morpheme is a word. And that word, how word comes, word should mean something. And it is related to certain letters, sounds kept together, stands for a meaning that is called morpheme. So in this way, CAT, cat, there is a morpheme. Suppose you add S here. Again, we say it has two morphemes. What morpheme? This morpheme is, though it is yes, added here, it is a morpheme. What type of morpheme? That is entirely different part of the story. Later we will teach you. But the primary stage, you understand, it has two morphemes. Basically, one morpheme is meaningful, added yes, another element added, again a morpheme comes there. What type? What type of morpheme is that? What type of morpheme is that? That is another part of story we are going to teach you. So, cat is a main part of speech, main word that stands for a meaning. So, basically, keep in mind that what is a morpheme? Minimum. It is a minimum meaningful divided, minimum meaningful sound units. Minimum. All right, you just understand how letters that you keep in a group and makes it a meaning. Meaningful sound unit called. So, in one of the grammar books, linguistic grammar books, it is written we have to identify a morpheme by 3 stages. One is that 3 stages, how or 3 criteria to find. 3 stages. One is called whether it is a word, it is formed by a word. Then second one, how to identify, cannot be divided, further divided. That is also that you keep in mind. It cannot be further divided. And third point, it should have a meaning. Keep in mind. What is a morpheme? I told you morpheme is a minimum meaningful sound unit. That is a definition given by John Lyons, major grammarians. What is a morpheme? What is related to? It is related to the development of making different words. And what is it? How is it formed? How you can find? 3 stages are there to find, to examine a morpheme. How? First one, whether it is a word or not. Then you understand it cannot be divided. Then third one, it should have a meaning. These are the 3 important areas. Just we take unlikely. Look here, unlikely. We are dealing with the word formation. Suppose you examination by the linguist from the right to the left, not from left to right. You search from here to this point. So one by one. Then first point, whether you will get sound units together, minimum sound units together to get a meaning. Ly, we don't have a particular meaning. but you get like. Like has a meaning. Like is a word. Like cannot be divided into two further. We cannot. Like is a word formed by like, cannot be split into two. If you split, further meaning will be there. So till the meaning that you get cannot be divided. So once you cannot divide this like, that is a morpheme. This is also a morpheme, different kind. So this word you can very plainly say, this word has three morphemes. One is un, one is like, one is ly. Which is the real morpheme? What is called, we call free morpheme, which has independent meaning. This free morpheme is like. So from left and from right, there are some elements coming. That we will teach you later. Now my strong attempt to make you understand what is a morpheme. Morpheme is minimum meaningful sound unit. So if it has a meaning, that is called a morpheme. This is also called a morpheme at present, although for the time being, but it is not meaningful. So meaningful element is called main morpheme, what is called free morpheme. So that is very important. Then we take another example. John Lyons give another example that you have to keep in mind. Carpet. Whether John Lyons asking whether it is single morpheme or double morpheme. As per rule, it is as per rule, it has double morpheme, because pet has a meaning, car has a meaning. Am I right? But consider, suppose you cut here, car is here, pet is here, but both are not directly connected. If they are not directly connected, they cannot be considered two morphemes. They can be considered only one morpheme. Understand? These are confusing areas. John Lyons say how you will discover, how you will find a real morpheme. Once you cut, remaining area should be meaningful to the remaining other areas. Example, once you cut, car should be related to pet, or pet should be related to car. Both are not connected. So it can be considered only one morpheme. So basic rule is to, from right side to left, that you make a journey, then divide the meaningful words. And after dividing the meaningful word, you should keep in mind whether that cut word, that divided word should be related to the remaining words. Then only that can be called a free morpheme. So carpet has only a single morpheme. So it can be divided into like, so we, another example I'll take. All right, category. All right, one example, category or categorize. Then you divide from right to left. What will happen? You will put either cat, meaningful, but cannot be considered a morpheme, because this cat is not related to gory. Gory is not such a word which is meaningful in English dictionary. So we consider, though it has 2-3 elements, meaning part is important. If meaning part is also available after your cutting or division, then second step you understand that divided remaining area whether related to the given meaning. If given meaning is not correct, then you can consider maximum letters, maximum sound together. So here cat is not a morpheme, here category is morpheme, in the sense that cat is not to do with anything with a gory, or gory is not having anything to do with a cat. So category is correct single morpheme. But categorize, you take categorize, look here, categorize, look here, categorize. This EC is different element. then this Y is changed into I. That is a technique that will come later. But here categories main morpheme is added element. Thus this added element means basically this word has two morphemes. So morpheme is a minimum meaningful sound unit in which you have to cut. I will take one more example to make you correct. Easy. Example. Okay, you write to faith. This is the beautiful example given by John Lyons. Faith is, please remember, first step is whether can you subdivide, whether can you divide this word into two. You can't, because suppose you cut here, you will get a phi. No, lexical idiom means not available in dictionary. Phi, no word. It cannot. So FAITH, minimum sound unit, minimum letters cut sound unit, to provide you one meaning. That is morpheme. So we cannot cut. Further we cannot divide. So it is considered to be a morpheme. But a child has written full plus n. Yes, fullness, faithfulness. What did you do? You add another element, two elements to the main morpheme. Then you got two other morphemes added to main unit. Then another child has written un. Then what happens? Unfaithfulness. One morpheme, second morpheme, third morpheme, fourth morpheme. Means you got four morphemed words. Unfaithfulness is a four morphemed word which constitute main morpheme in the center. From the left side, from the right side, some elements are written. It is another process. It is one of the other process of WFP. What is meant by WFP? Earlier explained, word formation process. Word formation process. So keep in mind WFP, word formation process. One of the main WFP is morpheme technology, morpheme method. How you can derive words and words and words. There are so many techniques. About all these techniques, we will give you the important significant one. The methodology how you can derive it words. So basic step is morphology. Basic step is morpheme. What is a morpheme? Again there will be a question either in the theory or in the practical. What is a morpheme? Morpheme is minimum meaningful sound unit. Minimum meaningful sound unit. You studied phonology related to sound system. But here sound units stand together to make a word which is meaningful. Meaningful word should be there. If no meaning, cannot be considered as a word. So morphology is the area related to study of word system or WFP. Example, we take another example. So you study what is a morpheme or what is morphology. Systematic study of morphemes. First point, it is a systematic study of morphemes. How to join or to form words. So anybody like phonology asking you, somebody will ask you definition of a morphology. What is morphology? Morphology means scientific systematic study of morphemes. What is morpheme? Word. How these words join together to form other words. So two areas are there. Letters to make a group, to join a group, cluster. Then these words further can you make them to different forms. That area related to morphology. Okay, another example, we can three morphemed words. Example, this area, second area related to segmentation. Keep in mind, second area called segmentation. All right, what is meant by segmentation? All right, all these are technical words. Segmentation. Segmentation means large number of words segmented. I took a example. We took boy. You get S. How many morphemes available here? As per schedule, we studied 2 morphemes. One is meaningful unit, one is meaningless. It can also be meaningful. Once it is added to boy, you will get a plural form of boys. You will get a plural form boys. Then we can say 1, 2. 2 morphemes are available. Which are the types of morphemes? That is coming later. We have 2 morphemes available. Then example past. P-A-S-S-E-D. We have pass. 1 morpheme, ed element added. So this area is called segmentation area. Some words are not segmented. Example, these are segmented area. Example, to this boy plus yes, boys, you got the plural form. But you write M-E-N. It is a plural form of M-A-N. This A became E to make a plural form. This rule is related to ablation rule in modern grammar. Ablation rule. But you study, it cannot be segmented. It cannot be divided. So inside vowel changing, you will get a plural form. So you write sang. All right, sang. You cannot cut into 2. It has only 1, so cannot be segmented. So we have a morpheme. A morpheme has 2 important ideas. One stage it should have a form, and it should have a substance. It should have a meaning. The word wend. Example, we'll take wend. All right, example, we take wend. All right, wend is a morpheme. It is a morpheme. Phonologically pronounced wend. So it cannot be cut into 2. Further cutting not possible. All right. So once we add another elements like s, all right, like ed, all right, these elements once you add to the main stem, it is called plural morphemes and past tense morphemes. What is called bound morphemes. In one of the grammar books, it is written bound morphemes. Bound morphemes has different stages. One is called plural things. What is called yes added, z added, is added. All these sounds are is. Yes and z. Example basis. So all these called plural segmentation. Under segmentation, first one is plural morphemes. Plural morphemes. So how these plural morphemes are added? These are the 2 morphemes in phonology. 3 morphemes are phonology. Sa, z, is sounds are there. How to find out? One example I will tell you. Example, words like all these are is words ending with words ending with yes, z, is. All right, words you get ending with this. Basis, you get basis, B-U-S-E-S. You add es to get a plural form. Vases, all these. Bushes is s. Then z ending with right. Boys, suppose you write boys, you get boys. How you write boys? All right, you write boys. Is. So ending to get some added elements. Those are called morphemes, and later we call it bound morphemes, but they are meant for changing the number. So that you give. So segmentation rule before reaching further classification. Segmentation has a first step, plural morphemes. How you add plural, adding some elements to the main morpheme, then you will get number plural morpheme. Third one is past morpheme. Segmentation, first one plural, second one past. How to identify past? Past you have te, then day. All right, te and de, id. All these are phonological elements. But for the past form, once you get a morpheme, you add these elements to the main morpheme, you will get a past. For example, love. You write love. That is a morpheme. That is the main word. That is a meaningful word. You add de. Then you will get another morpheme added to the main morpheme. You will get a past tense. So this is called past modification, past morpheme. Otherwise you study past morpheme. So under morphology we have WFP, word formation process. Under this word formation process, first one is segmentation. Under this segmentation, first step is plural morpheme, how you add. After that, you come to past segmentation, how you add past. Example, wanted, W-A-N-T-E-D. All right, this ED example is wanted. This ID is coming. Id, wanted, not wanted. So these are the some areas that you have to keep in mind. So morpheme is, so what all there will be a technical that is given in your textbook you refer. What is called morpheme? How they are different from allomorphs. A technical word is there, allomorphs, given in the textbook. What is allomorphs? These are the allomorphs. Otherwise you keep in mind those elements which are added to the main morpheme are called allomorphs. These are the allomorphs. For the past tense you have three allomorphs. Te, de, id are allomorphs of the past tense. So they will ask you, those people they will ask you what is allomorphs. Allomorphs, you can keep it down. Those morphs which belong to same morpheme. This is past tense. Te is past form. De is past form. Id, id is past form. These are the same allomorphs for the same morpheme. That is called allomorphs. So, number system, you get sa, za, isa. For the purpose of plural making, we use sa, za, isa. All these three are allomorphs of the same concept already that we have written. So under the segmentation, first plural morpheme, then past morpheme, that you come segmentation. Example, how to segment brought. I will tell you how to identify brought in the past tense form. B-R-U-G-H-T, brought. What is the classification? It is bring plus ed. Then it comes brought. This ed concept you add here, you will get a te, brought. So te rule is applied to get a brought. So actually played. Example, very simple thing. Played. How you got this ed here? Derivation. Derivation you write play plus ed. You will get ed. Ed concept. So tense concept. This is segmentation. Once they ask segmentation, you should study that. Once we reach after segmentation, John Lyons give concept of morphology in different way. That is called free morpheme. Look here. Look here. We wrote, first we took what is that? Faith. All right, faith. First duty, from right to left, you examine whether can you split the word into two. If you split, one point should be kept. What is that? It should be meaningful. Second point, that remaining meaningful word should have a connection to the other remaining words. Okay, if they are not, we cannot consider. So these 2 points often people confused. First, cutting is possible. Right to left you go, cut. So remaining area should be meaningful. Not only meaningful, that should be related to the remaining area. If not related, cutting not possible. That is the main thing of morphology. So we check from right to left, we cannot cut. Means suppose we cut here 5, no meaning. It, no meaning. Alright? In the sense categorize, cat has a meaning but not suitable to Gori. So we cannot cut. You follow me? These are the areas to be kept in mind. Simply cutting is possible. But how to find a beautiful morpheme in a sentence? After cutting, that should be related to the other part. If not related to the part, you cannot cut. That is the main technique. So this cannot be further cut into 2. Are you okay? If you cut in the center, no meaning possible. So you get another word, full, faithful. Suppose I provide you faithful, you can cut here. Remaining this is main meaningful word. It has no meaning because it is not in the dictionary. Means lexical photography, lexical picture not available. FU double L possible. Here only one L, FUL. So it is not possible there. So then another child has written here ness. Ness as a word not lexical, not available in the dictionary. So suppose I give you faithfulness as a word. After studying morphology, you will cut first here, second full, then which one is meaningful? This one is meaningful. This meaningful, please keep in mind, this meaningful minimum sound unit is called free morpheme. Understand, free morpheme. What is called free morpheme? They will ask you, what is a free morpheme? Free morpheme, it is a technique by John Lyons. Free morpheme means from a big word, you cut the minimum meaningful sound unit which has a relation to the whole remaining areas is called free morpheme. Then what is it? Full plus n. Full plus n is added element which may not have a meaning. They are called bound morphemes. Bound morphemes. Suppose you add to get a negative, opposite, unfaithfulness. This is also called bound morpheme. So what is bound morpheme? The construction of this word is bound morpheme, free morpheme, bound morpheme 1, then bound morpheme 2, bound morpheme 3. It means 4 morphemes possible there. Are you okay? How to identify? You get a word, from the right to the left you check, then you get a meaning, that meaning suitable to the other elements, then meaningless areas will be cut, right side some bound morphemes will be there, left side some bound morphemes there. The same area considered by TG grammarians in other way. Their process is called WFP process is equal to affixation. That is rule called affixation rule. What is affixation? With the same example you can study. What is affixation? You get a beautiful, meaningful morpheme. From left side you write one morpheme. Right side you write. They say this one is real root word. Root word. Some grammarians call it is a base word. Some grammarians call it is a stem word. Because it is meaningful. Stem word is STEM. Stem word is a beautiful root word which cannot be further cut into 2. So this word further not cut into 2, that word is called root. From this root, this word is main morpheme, main root, main stem. Left side you write one word which may not be meaningful, may be meaningful. This word is called PRE, prefix. Prefix. From the left side you add an element to the stem, that is called prefix. Right side you add one element, that is called suffix 1 number. Here second one suffix number 2. So according to WFP process, by TG grammarians. Unfaithfulness has a structure. One is prefix plus one is stem plus suffix number, right side suffix. This is prefix. This is suffix number. Suffix number what? 1. Ness. Here suffix number 2. So prefix, stem, suffix 1, suffix 2. All together method construction is totally known as affixation. So their rule is affixation rule. What is affixation rule is? Affixation rule is bound morpheme plus other number of bound morphemes. These bound morphemes all together stand for the process of affixation. Infix and affix is there, but you study only this one. This area is meant for degree class. We have different steps are there. To example, we write one more example. Unknowingly, you have to practice to find the affixation rule. All right, unknowingly. Look here, how many unknowing? First we can write unknowingly. All right. What is called bound morpheme? No stem. Ing-ly. This is bound morpheme 1. 2 bound morpheme 3. This is 1. So no is the correct word. Ing. Here cutting 1, 2, 3, 4. Unknowingly. We get no is bound verb. According to the affixation rule, it is prefix, stem, S1, S2, S1, S3. S1, S2. This is unmeant prefix. Stem, main word. Then suffix come, 2 suffixes available. One is ing, ly, li. Ly is called suffix number 2. So this is the free morpheme and bound morpheme rules. All right. Then one more example will unhappy. You take unhappy. Okay, check unhappy. There are so many confusing areas that coming later. Unhappy. From right to left you check. PP by no, not possible lexical. Happy is okay. Happy is an adjective available in lexical way in the dictionary. So here bound morpheme 1, happy, real morpheme as per segmentation rule. As per affixation rule, here we have 1 prefix, 1 main stem. Stem means root. Root means cannot be cut into 2. In the same way, that suppose you study example like in so many words that we are studying English language is second language, like example jelly. All right, we have jelly. All right, we pronounce jelly. But modern English, British people, they consider this 2L only 1L. Example, jelly. They was jelly. But here, what is to say? You take my name, Sunny. You get Sunny. You call always sunny. But in modern, according to modern English or our phonological order, that is sunny. Only one is called sunny, not jelly. No, beautifully. They ask. Like that, you have to keep in mind. That is sound system. So in a way, we have studied unfaithfulness. Then we can summarize what is called morpheme here. All right, morpheme. You can copy down this morpheme. All right, divided into 2. All right. Okay. First one is free morpheme. Then called bound morpheme. All right, bound morpheme. All right, this bound morpheme has 2 division. All right, one is called prefix 1. All right, then suffix 1. It has suffix 1. Then it is prefix derivational, that is coming, derivational process coming. Then it has inflection, that you will study inflection, then derivation. All right. So morpheme as aware, it has a free morpheme and a bound morpheme. Free morpheme is real stem. Then bound morpheme, left side possible, right side possible, can be used for derivation of words, inflection of words, and again suffix is used for derivation. So all these areas that you have to read, it is given in this textbook, that you read the chapter. Any doubts you have, you ask me, then we will explain. Thank you very much.